guys, Ash here, coming at you today with a conversation I had with Chief Pat. He was generous enough with his time to join me talking all things Clash Royale. We cover it all going on in the game right now, from current balancing changes and how that will affect gameplay, to TV Royale, to even win trading and fixing cheating in the game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview. If you'd like me to continue this series with other YouTubers or streamers or other personalities in the game, let me know who you'd like to see in the comments below. Guys, enjoy the conversation. So I am here with none other than Chief Pat. Pat, what's going on, man?
Dude, Ash, pleasure to be on your channel, man. Nothing much. I'm sitting here in the middle of Korea with a busted up laptop talking to you. So good times.
I know, man. How's Korea?
Oh, it's super sick. I mean, awesome. Especially for someone who's a gamer. One of the definitely one of the core cities over here in Seoul. So it's so much fun. The weather's nice. The food is good. Really not too much else to ask for.
I'm really jealous, man. I've only been to Finland for the gaming stuff, but really jealous of I've never been to Asia at all, so really jealous. Have fun, man.
Soon, man. Soon.
Yeah,
Soon.
maybe. So I wanted to get you on today to talk a little bit about current events, I guess, in Clash Royale, and obviously there's none better than you to talk to about. So let's hop right into it. I'm wondering, first of all, there was a lot of new balance changes announced today. I was wondering what your initial thoughts are, specifically because the things that jumped out to me, I don't know about you, are the minor buff and the Royal Giant nerf. So let's hop into it. Thoughts on the minor and the Royal Giant?
Dude, the minor, I cannot believe that they're buffing the minor. I mean, right now at the top, the deck that I've been playing, which has been working so well, the Royal Giant Goblin Hut deck, which has just been really fantastic for me. The only deck that's been able to really beat me without me making mistakes other than going against mirror matchups is this one minor deck, minor mini P.E.K.K.A minion horde. I think minor is really one of the best cards in the game. It's sort of like the bomb tower was previously. It was a really strong card for 2 months and no one played it, and then eventually when people figured out how to play it, once other cards were nerfed, then people are like, oh my god, this card is ridiculous. So I think the minor is just going to be getting a 6% buff, already being in one of the best 2 or 3 decks in the game, in my opinion. Feels a bit crazy. The Royal Giant, 4%. I don't think that's really going to, fix any of or it's going to really satisfy any people who don't like the Royal Giant. It's still going to be used just as much, in my opinion. I don't think 4% damage. It might do 250 damage a hit at max rank, so it's taking off 10 damage.
Yeah, the 4% will add up, I'm sure, but
yeah.
But I agree with you. I think it's still going to be pretty dominant, even with the slight buffs to the Tombstone and Tesla. I still think we're going to be seeing a lot of Royal Giant. Are you happy with the place that Royal Giant has in the game right now, or are you kind of pro nerf, or?
I think it's a cool card, and if people take off the Royal Giant glasses and see that previously, before the buff, people would just play defenses as their first card over and over and over again. And with the Royal Giant, it's changed the play styles where that's not really a viable strategy, because if you play your 5 Elixir Bomb Tower first and someone drops a Royal Giant, then you're going to be losing a lot of value in that trade. So I'm definitely for the role that the Royal Giant has to make people just plopping out defenses and shooting rockets less of a thing inside of Clash Royale. But at the same time, he's definitely feels a little bit oppressive right now. It's sort of it might not even be him himself, but the fact that it's hard to deal with the cards that are behind him. So for me, I've talked about a few changes in my head. I think if they could do maybe a half tile nerf, or even if you guys remember, I think it was March 23rd, the balance maybe 2 balance changes ago, they added 10 to 20% HP and damage. If they took that away, maybe he'd feel a little bit more balanced, but I don't think this is really going to do too much. I do like his playstyle as something that takes away the defensive spammers, but at the same time, definitely feels a little bit oppressive right now from someone who's spamming him at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think it's a little bit oppressive as well, and a little bit overpowered, but at the same time, I selfishly love it. It's kind of like the Valkyries in Clash of Clans, It's oh yeah, they're overpowered and I love playing them, so it's kind of one of those.
I mean, it's sad when some of your cards that you use get nerfed, but that was really just a dent in the armor. The Royal Giant's still going to be just as popular. Can't believe they didn't really they touched on the free spell, but the Hogs, man, 3 straight updates, the Hogs have not been touched. I guess there's a lot of back and forth about that. What do you think?
It's a tough question. I love hogs. I mean, before the Royal Giant, I was a strict cycle deck player, so I love the cheap, 2.93 3-cost elixir decks. So yeah. I love the hog, and it's one of those things that like I kind of feel that in a game like this, some cards are always gonna, present and inherit more utility or more, powerful feeling, I guess, than others. Right. And I think the hog just, kind of like Clash of Clans does. I think it's just like one of those staple cards to the game, and I actually like the hog, right where it is.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. A lot of people are calling for nerfs for it all the time. I think we do have to have some cards in the game that are the Tower Seeker and the Defense Seekers. Mm-hmm. So I think the hog is okay right now. I actually think someone made a good point on the subreddit about the cannon nerfs affecting hog players, because a lot of people who run the Hog Rider in their deck actually have the cannon as well, and the cannon's sort of the glue that holds their deck together, because they can play a 3-elixir cannon and fight off these massive pushes.
Exactly.
So we'll see how the cannon changes affect people who are using the Hog Rider and obviously fighting against it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting there. I know the freeze got nerfed about a second at every level, but people will probably just play Hog Zap. But I'm just most scared about the miner, man. The miner decks are going to be, they're already strong right now. They're going to be crazy, and I can tell the people who don't have legendaries or are free to play and haven't gotten the miner yet might be a little bit upset when they're getting mere miner over and over again.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I haven't got the miner yet, unfortunately.
Oh man,
I've gotten every card but the miner, and of course it's the one I want to play the most because all my clanmates are using it, and it's the same deck that you just talked about. And it's gonna be even more powerful because it's essentially you're using the miner to tank the tower, and it's so hard to counter when they drop the mini P.E.K.K.A, Spirit Goblin, Princess, whatever,
Oh yeah, so, it's so tough because compared to like Goblin Burial, which is a similar design of a card where you can just drop arrows and you're done with it, there's no really effective counter to Miner Zap. You have to drop something like, what people do is they drop Miner onto your tower and then they do a mini P.E.K.K.A Spear Goblin push. So if you drop Barbarians on the Miner, then the mini P.E.K.K.A is going to be charging towards your tower, and if you play Spear Goblins, they'll just zap your Spear Goblins and the mini P.E.K.K.A will get onto your tower. It's really it's one of the most frustrating things to play against, and it is guaranteed damage almost every single time. So it's only going to be even more powerful right now. So I'm definitely expecting that to be the Bomb Tower card, the card that was always strong, but people just didn't play it. And then now Supercell's like, hey, have a free 6% buff and see how it works out. So we'll see.
Exactly. I think, you and I really agree on the big takeaways there. It's just the Royal Giant's still going to be formidable and the Miner's going to be absolutely crazy. So I guess we can move on a little bit. I know you've posted a few, especially on Twitter. You've been a strong advocate of the Make TV Royale Great Again campaign. So I agree with you, but why don't you just tell us a little bit about your feelings on TV Royale?
Okay. Well, my feelings on TV Royale and what TV Royale should be is it should be, one, a place to find entertaining matches, such as like the 3-3 crown draws and all the crazy stuff you see currently on TV. But I also feel like TV Royale should be a place for people to, find actual decks and find, good players playing those decks. So if you look at TV Royale right now, it's just, they just find the closest possible battles and they throw them up onto the TV. And if you look at some of the arenas, like Arena 3, you have some like level 8s playing in Arena 2 and Arena 3 using all spell decks and all this crazy stuff. And, it's fun and it's cool to watch those replays, but you don't actually learn anything from those or pick up any decks. Whereas if you think about TV Royale before the update, with the top, I think 150 to 100 players that they would post on there, every single deck that was run up there was a good deck that you could copy and try out yourself. So I feel like if they added in a TV Royale section for players in the top 100, then people would have a chance to be able to find some decks that they knew were good because people at the top were running them and it wasn't a level 8 in like Arena 2 or Arena 3. Or if they found a way, this would be more difficult, but this would be the best. If they could find a way to determine like skillful players at lower levels and be able to showcase their decks, then that would obviously be amazing, because then you could be like, hey, I'm in Arena 5 and this guy is this guy's a level whatever. He's a level 5 in Arena 5. He must be a pretty good player, and he's on TV Royale. Let me check out his deck. Whereas right now, it's a little bit of a clown fiesta on TV. So that's my thoughts.
I agree with you 100%. I initially liked the idea of, broadening TV Royale to include, a broader spectrum of the player base, but after it was implemented, I just stopped watching it, to be honest with you, because like you said, part of it's the novelty of using different cards or last second finishes and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know. I kind of feel like the perfect world scenario would be, having a top 100 leaderboard for everything like level 6 and beyond, and then revamp that, and then that would be the new, TV Royale. But I don't know if that's a little bit too complex, but definitely having a top 100 would provide like that awesome place you can go to see like trending strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely necessary. I feel like there's already people on tournaments, on live streams who sort of abuse the system by, making a level 6 account, but only upgrading 8 cards. So you have a ridiculously powerful level 6. So it'd be hard to, filter out based on trophies who the strong level players are. I'm not exactly sure how I would do it, but just a good temporary fix would be to make, a top 50 to a top 100 TV Royale, because then you're at least guaranteed to know, these decks are playable and these are something that I can try out. But at the same time, how it's set up right now for Legendary Arena, they include everyone inside of the Legendary Arena, including the level 13s who are stuck at 3,000 trophies.
Yeah,
so,
I noticed. I think. Yeah.
So if they switch that up, then I think they could definitely make TV Royale great again.
Yeah. Well, speaking of abusing the system, I guess we can kind of end on we can kind of end on the whole idea of like win trading, and obviously it's something you've done a few videos on, and I think it's been it's been a little bit of an issue. Maybe that's understating it, but I mean, I think it's really important to everybody in the community, not just max decks or not, to set up like a fair play environment from the get-go, so we don't run into the same competitive issues that kind of Clash of Clans has kind of had to deal with. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what win trading is, and if it's still an issue in your mind?
All right, so for people who don't know, win trading is only an issue available really at the top. So if you guys are not in the top 100, doesn't really affect you, don't worry about it. And I think it's one of the few exploits in the game right now. But pretty much what it is it's working together with other players and then intentionally, giving them free wins to boost their trophy count. So for example, let's say I'm in a clan with you, Molt, Nick, and Galadon, and we're all at 4,000 trophies. And then at the end of the season, I want to get a big rank or get like number 1 in the world. Then when I match up with you guys and we'll queue up at the same time, I'll just tell you guys to intentionally lose the matches and inflate my trophy count. So the problem is at the top of the leaderboard, I've talked to a lot of these players. Some of them came out to the Helsinki tournament, and I've talked to other ones, online. And pretty much out of the top 30 players, there's like, I've heard there's like 6 people controlling the accounts and 6 people who get people to flood each other with trophies. And the problem with that is let's say a player like myself, or a player, let's say there's a couple guys from Italian Legends, there's Dottie in a Korean clan, even though there's really skilled players who win a majority of their matches, having to fight against 5 different people donating each other trophies really just snowballs things out of control and makes it ridiculous. For example, in the last season, the number 1 guy finished at 5,225 trophies and the number 3 guy finished at 5,043. So he was pretty much 200 trophies above the number 3 guy. That's pretty much impossible if you're playing
huge at that level. That's
because you're getting like 10 trophies a win. And these players, when I actually get to play them, they're really not that good. Some of them are good players, like I'll give them that, but they're not winning 99% of their matches to be at the very top. It pretty much has just evolved into a joke at the top. And like you say, even though it's not the biggest thing, it's only affecting so many people. I think it's important that they put a precedent going forward for when they have different tournaments and other things within the game, that they stomp it out from day one. They put out a statement saying that they were going to work on it and work on fixing it, but it's evident over the last 3 seasons when the win trading has been out of control. People are just leaving their clans on the end of the season and donating each other trophies, that whatever they've been doing has been a failure to try to monitor it, and it's sort of just crazy right now. So for a player who's playing by the rules, obviously really frustrating for me. I can be number 1 in the world for the first 10 to 11 days of the season, which I haven't for this season, I was like number one. I've been number one for like the first week, but as soon as people start donating each other trophies, then it sort of just kicks me out of the top, and it feels bad, man.
Yeah, I can imagine, because it takes a lot of work, obviously, to get that high, and it's kind of like the top leader. Same thing on the top leaderboard in Clash of Clans. Like I said, it's just like it's a little frustrating. Is there, short of just banning these accounts, is there an easy solution that you see that if you were Supercell that you would do to fix this, or?
I think there's, I've talked to Supercell about it, and I think they have a couple solutions. I wouldn't really speculate on what they could do, but I will say that I'm a big advocate of doing short-term bans for the players who they catch doing it. If there's no incentive not to cheat inside of the game, people are always going to be working against you to rig your game some way, somehow. If you're just trying to patch it up and keep letting the people who are abusing the system find new ways to do that, then you're really never going to win. I think you have to say, hey, we're putting our foot down on this. We're going to start with like 2 to 3 day bans, and then we'll increase it from there. If you're caught win trading, and that'll sort of quiet the amount of win trading that's happening right now. And then of course, develop a system in place to make it so it's impossible within the game. But it's a pretty complex problem right now. I mean, a lot of these guys at the top have a lot of money, and they can just spend $12,000 on another fully maxed out account and then just feed themselves trophies. So they've got to find a better solution. But I think, not putting any incentive not to cheat the system within the game just makes it so this will continue to be a problem until that's the case. I don't see a perfect solution just yet, and I don't know if they have, or else it would be implemented into the game. But I think, laying down the hammer and being willing to give out some temporary bans would help out just a bit towards the top, and also show the rest of the community when it comes to, tournaments and all that other stuff going forward into the future, that they definitely mean business when it comes to fair play.
Yeah, great answer. And I hope, not only for your sake, who's, vying for that number one spot, but I hope, for, like I said, for everybody's sake, that, they do take this seriously and address it early on. And, the Royale team has been really great so far. So I'm kind of optimistic, so that hopefully they do something along those lines. But, you've been so generous with your time, so I will let you go, Pat. But I do want to ask you one more thing. If you could add one more feature into Clash of Clans, not Clash Royale, but a little curveball for you, what would it be? Because I know in your most recent video you said that they need a new feature. So was curious, what would your feature be?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I was saying inside of the video that it's hard to, for a game that's been out for almost 4 years on August 2nd, to continue innovating, years later and add in things similar to Clan Wars would be pretty impressive. If I had to think of a feature off the top of my head that would change the game, I think maybe some sort of...
no pressure.
Probably some sort of, like... I don't know. I want to see some sort of system where there's like proper elo within the game, like proper rankings, whether it's like 1v1 dueling in Clash of Clans. No idea how that would work. Would have to find a creative solution to that. But I just want something within Clash of Clans that truly defines skill. And that's what's been missing for me. If you think about trophy pushing, I've trophy pushed. I've done the grind. It's a joke. Everyone knows it's a joke. No need to explain more into that. Yeah. If you think about Clan Wars, obviously modding's been a huge problem, and they're still working out some of the kinks right now with burner accounts and whatever. And there's no really like Clan War leaderboard to find out where you stack up or any genuine rankings inside of that. So I'm looking for something inside of Clash of Clans, whatever that feature may be, 1v1s, smaller wars that people are always alluding to, with like some sort of leaderboard. I think that would be something that I would really enjoy. I'm all about competition and stacking myself up against others, which is why I love competing at the top of the leaderboard in Clash Royale. And obviously win trading is super annoying for someone like me. I'm just passionate about competing. And for Clash of Clans, I'm still waiting to find something in the game that truly defines skill, and then that's like accountable for in a leaderboard. I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you want, Ash?
Yeah, man. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I'm the same way as you in terms of my competitiveness. So I would love to see some sort of a leaderboard that actually meant something as well. And I agree with you 100% on like trophy pushing. It's it's just a time investment, and it's more corrupt than
who can play your account.
Yeah,
it's more corrupt than politics, man.
Yeah,
but I mean,
who can have the best pilot? It doesn't.
So trophy pushing can stay how it is. Like they don't have to. You can keep trophy pushing in the game, but just make other systems that are, trophy pushing is part of the game. It's part of the game's history. Keep it there, but at the same time, realize that it's a joke and that there needs to be something else that truly defines skill for individual players and clans.
Exactly. I mean, my big two things are and I've said them for so long, but I'd love to see some sort of a tournament. Like you said, it could be a 1v1. It could be less oriented around the clan. That way you still have clan wars for your clans. Then you can have some sort of a, anything that you can give you a viable, determination or ranking based on someone's skill, kind of like you just said. And even I'd settle for some sort of a speed war, because I just want to have that feeling in Clash of Clans that you feel like you can't shut off your device. I want that feeling back in that game. So, I mean, anything that brings that feeling, I'm totally cool with. So, I mean, that's really, not to give a vague answer, but Speed Wars or anything that just keeps you gripped to your device is something I want to see for Clash.
Yeah, I'm all in on that, man. Hey, let's make you... I remember watching that video. It was like, if I was game developer. You got it, man. You got the job. Put him in.
Well, I think I think this is official. Then I'm gonna forward this to Supercell.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it again, and enjoy Korea. And thanks for taking so much time. Appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, take care.
We don't play for fame, we don't play for cash. We just play for the glory and the clash of the ash.